welcome to the Talking Demons podcast. Oh, I stumbled there. Welcome to episode 2 of the Talking Demons podcast. And I'm, of course, Franco, your co-host, or the co-host, alongside me with Byron, obviously. So we are today going to be looking at all 6 of our Battleline units. Not like deep dive into them, but we're just going to briefly have a chat on each one, talk about, their strengths and weaknesses briefly, why they're good, why they're maybe not great, or what maybe some changes they could take, and their interactions in more specifically their god detachment, and then obviously the two standard detachments as well. So before we do get in, obviously you have to do the important stuff. If you like what we do here on the channel, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel out massively. And our sponsor, Warzone Events, down in Gillingham in Kent. If you're from Essex, London, Surrey, Sussex, Kent itself, or you're just looking for some cool RTTs or maybe GTs, they run them monthly. They don't just do 40k, they do Sigma, Old World, Heresy, Marvel, Crisis Protocol, Guild Ball, etc., etc. Song of Ice and Fire. They do loads of stuff. So check out their site. They're also quite on the cheaper end of events as well, while great terrain and run by great guys. So give them a check. So, Mr. Byron,
Yes,
Battleline. We have some pretty good Battleline options, right? I think we've got some of the
we do, don't we?
Yeah, I think we've got some of the best Battleline options in the game. So I'll let you start. You pick
Okay.
whatever Battleline unit you want to pick and talking.
You know I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick the smelly boys.
You bastard. They're mine. What hold on. What
You can have
ones?
the little smelly ones.
Okay,
You
well,
can have the little smelly
I'll
ones, the
take it.
swarmy
I'll take
ones.
it. Okay.
So Plague Bearers first up. Absolutely love these guys.
The best Battleline
There's
unit.
no army list I do for demons, regardless of detachment, without putting a squad of these in. And I think I've talked about it many times on previous podcasts that we've had, videos that we've done. I do think they're one of the best, if not the best, battle line in the whole game.
Agreed. 100%.
With the flexibility they have, everything they can do, they're just so good. Detachment dependent, obviously they're better in certain detachments. I have been running for a little while now, probably like 4 or 5 months now. 2 squads of 10 of them in my incursion list, and I don't think I'll ever look back.
He copied me.
I don't think I'll ever look back to just having one.
We said it for ages. They're too good.
Yeah, you have. They're so good.
And Franco, just interject. Franco is currently running 50 of them. Just to point you in how good they are.
Out of how many do you own?
150.
Wow.
You could take 150 back then.
Yeah. Can't take more than 60 now. And
No.
I have 60. Yeah, I have 60.
Amateur.
So I have the option to use 60 if I want to. I'm just not going to that extreme yet. Maybe one day I'll play Plague Legion and go to that extreme.
Man, Plague Bearers are my jam. I love them.
They're so good. They do everything that you want them to, other than move fast. And even that in Plague Legion they can do if you really want them to. So yeah, the whole move fast thing is a bit of a dodgy caveat I always find, because incursion uppy down is a thing. Extra 5-inch move is a thing for Plague Legion. They're not fast in Shadow Legion, but they're tougher, so who cares really? And then all the other detachments, they just offer their base profile, which is insanely good in itself, and also sticky objectives, which is fundamentally brilliant.
Most important thing.
Yeah, they're just such a good all-round unit. The damage output that you can get from them, combining with things like plague drones, various characters you can attach, like a Scrivener and Otagus, giving +1 damage, is deceptively good. I think a lot of people that you play against will look at these plague bearers that are killing their army, go, "Ow, are they biting us or something?" They got. How do they become 2 damage? Don't know. But I guess just looked at you. So Yeah, no, I absolutely love plague bearers. Both me and Franco swear by them. Multiple units of them in every detachment, and yeah, they're as said they're one of the best battle lines around.
And they're I think I don't think we could do a whole video, like hour long video on this. They're amazing. They're a unit that I love. There's a reason I own 150 of them, because back in the day I used to run 150 of them. 120 was my sweet spot number. And I have throughout this whole edition played anywhere between 10 and 60 of them. Um, at the World Championships, I ran 20 of them. Like, just to point you in that direction, I'm now running 50 of them. I love them. They're fantastic. So, Byron gave me the reasons why. And detachment wise, they are best in either incursion or plague. Incursion gives them uppy downy 6-inch deep strike. Of course, plague legion gives them a whole host of buffs from crit 5s with lethal, 5-inch move, healing them. They're just insane. And every detachment, if you're playing a demon list, the first thing you put, no matter what detachment you're playing, plague legion, plague bearers straight away, because even just as a backfill sticky unit, they're phenomenal, right?
Yep.
So
I used both of mine. One of mine gets used as sticky the backfield and then rush forward to
yep.
try and hold another one.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst the other ones either stay in reserve and a great rapid ingress option to just drop on an objective that your opponent left open by chance and then stick it and fuck off, do something else. Or just have them starting on the table as another OC push, strong high OC push on another objective somewhere. They're so good, man.
I think 20 is a really nice sweet spot for incursion. Because you've got the one unit start on the back that can go uppy downy whenever you want. The other unit, I think, does start in reserves, and then and then in combination at the moment we're seeing now, and I love it. A Guo and Rotigus, maybe two Guos and Rotigus at the moment in incursion, so it just keeps synergy going. Incursion lists at the moment are now starting, like, all of a sudden out of nowhere. I've been going through some of the lists. We're seeing 20, 30 of them, which is really cool. And
Yeah.
I've seen a Shadow Legion list with 40 or 50 of them. And they're T5, T6 within range of a Guo, -1 of wound against strength, hard, and toughness. That's really good. Like I said, in Plague Legion, I'm running 50 of them, all with a character attached, because they've actually got really good characters. Like Epidemius is fantastic, 4-up invuln on his unit. Scrivener is fantastic, sustained hits +1 OC. And then the Poxbringer's 3 hits on 5s. And then the Bowl Pipe is okay.
And a
+1
decent
move,
combatant himself as well. Like,
yeah, the
he's all
Poxbringer
right.
is massively underrated. That guy is really good, really good. And you can't. He's not really easy to pick out with heroic, with epic challenge, because he's 5-5-5-5, right? He's D5-5 wins 5-up in 1-5 no pain. I had someone pick him out in combat with I think it was a Marine captain, and didn't kill him because he just went, oh, you could pass a few invuns. I've got 6 no pains. I'll pass 3 of those. Cool. You just wasted your captain. Fantastic. Yeah, we
Could have
cannot.
killed the whole squad, but you wasted your captain.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, the other guy killed the playboys, but the Boxman is just sitting there, like, giving them the middle finger, going, fuck you. Yeah, no, they're fantastic. Right. What do I want to pick? So I'm going to take you on your word, and you're going to leave me, Nurglings, because I want to talk about something Nurgle. So I am going to talk about a unit that I thought was always good, and Byron slagged them off always, but I always said they were really good, and that's Demonet. I never slagged them off at all this edition. Um, you can't see our faces. That is a blatant lie. I was like the biggest
You
haters of Demonet.
absolute liar. I've been telling you about fucking Demonets longer.
No, I'll give you that. I'll take the. I tried to convince you about more Plague Bearers earlier for you telling me about Demonet. It's weird because Demonets in ninth edition, I was running 50 of the fuckers, but they were phenomenal in ninth. But they are still decent, right? So they started this edition at 150 points. Can you just remember that? They were 150 points at the beginning of this. No, were they?
150 or 140?
Oh, they
Something
might be.
dodgy like
Sorry, they
that.
were
They were a
140.
lot.
Okay, so yeah, since we have them about online thing, Bloodletters were 160.
Yeah.
Let that swirl around in your head. Player Bearers were 150. Demonettes were 140 because they were the same points as Horrors. Horrors are the only battle line, and and Blue Horrors for some fucking reason, that have never gone down. So the Zinch battle line never went down. But yeah, Demonettes are 100 points. now I've got to play them more, that they are very, very good. So they're super fast, right? They move 9. You can get access to advance and charge in incursion. They can fall back and charge in oh God, Legion of Excess, and of course they get the access to the rerolls with the gambits, which because they're very squishy, so gambits can be a little bit hard on them, but you can at least supplement that with Thieves of Pain if you get in the right position for it. But Demonet are great. They've got 3 attacks each. The death wounds, they're really good. I think so. They used to have reroll hit rolls of 1 or reroll all hit rolls against a unit on an objective for their ability, which now got changed to force a battle shock at the start of the fight phase for every unit in engagement range of them, and there is no caveat. Like it doesn't matter what it is, so they can battle shock a big knight if they really want to. I
They also
cannot.
natively fights first.
And native fights first, which they got, yeah, and which is insanely good because against certain armies, like especially if you have them in a good bit of terrain, it's like the only way you're going to take this off me is to charge me. Good luck, because I'm going to hurt you. Like there are units that you can hurt, but they will just kill demonettes in return. But against some units, like Eldar, don't want that. GSE don't want that. Demons don't want that unless it's a greater demon, you know. So even Marines to an extent don't want that because you can spike with them massively. So yeah, but their ability for Battle Shock, I cannot understate how good that is because you can turn off any chance of them doing interruptions. You can turn off things like Armor and Contempt or other good defensive or offensive strats. Heroically intervening with them with fights first with the Battle Shock strat is really strong. Um, I'm dropped them now only because I really want to play loads of Plague Bearers, like more Plague Bearers. But in Plague Legion, I can't understate how good that is. I feel like it is now catching on, but like having that unit paired with the ball piper unit is so strong. I had them plus a Poxbringer nearby, managed to nearly wipe out a unit of wardens on their Feel No Pain turn by just boom, die, boom, die, boom, die. Yeah, so Demonettes are phenomenal. In incursion, you know, they don't mind incursion, +1 AP, advance and charge, 6-inch deep strike. They love all of that. Shadow Legion, Shadow Legion, I think is where they're actually best. Funnily enough, because the weakness is they're really squishy. They're T3 with a 5-up invuln. They are not tough, and they are very susceptible to Overwatch. But in Shadow Legion, they can't be Overwatch because of Slanesh. So that's really strong because you just run them out in the middle and go, oh look, warp spiders. Ah, I don't care. And you kill warp spiders because they kill warp spiders easy. Um, or a unit that's got shit tons of shots, sustained hits, lethal hits, whatever, guard, whatever it may be. Actually, yes, no, never mind. Someone told me the other week before I knew fully read the new rules, that sustained and lethal now didn't proc on Overwatch anymore. But that's a lie, right? That is not a thing. Still procs on Overwatch, correct?
They do.
Yeah. Someone told me that, and I was like, I've not seen that, but okay. That's not true. I know that's not true because I played an event since then, and it, yeah. But yeah, so just stopping the Overwatch on them, and then that allows you to go in, mess with something, then take on an objective. It's just really strong. Um, I don't know if you're really going to take them in Scintillating Blood Legion. Scintillating, or that's it really. I think you can take them in Plague Legion. You take obviously in Excess, and then Incursion doesn't mind them. I don't think they're best suited to Incursion, but you can if you want. Like there's no reason not to.
Massively suited to
No,
incursion, but
but
I think
but you can take them if you want to. Like it's not like a
yeah, triggering the innate battle shock test is lovely because of
yes,
Drafts Terror.
yes, which actually is being done by a few people. So actually, yeah, they do that really nicely. Um, so yeah, they're really good. Character wise, the Trance Weaver's not bad because she gives them their old reroll wound, reroll hits to 1 and all hits on an objective, which is good. She's got the really weird to like time of activation ability of at the end of your movement phase you pick a battle shock unit and then it takes and then her unit gets to reroll 4 hits and 4 wounds against them. The best way to get that to work is to basically cause a battle shock with them in in their turn. So if you heroic in, or if they charge a Demonet and don't kill them, their battle shock, then you can use it. Or I think it works best in Plague Legion, right? If you have them, because
Yeah.
you can actually play around it and go, cool, I'm just going to try battle shock. In either their command phase, in their fight phase with the strat for +1 hit battle shock, or in your command phase. So you've got multiple ways to do it. So if you're going to run the Trance Weaver, not a bad shout in Plague Legion. Actually, it's pretty decent. But yeah, so
Yep.
I think Demonettes, I will hold my hands up and admit I massively disrespected them. They were not great. They were not good until they hit 100 points. The rerolls were nice on them, but it's really weird because I actually prefer the Battle Shock ability just because it has more synergy with things we can do with shadows, blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
yeah, Demonettes are pretty decent.
Yeah, for sure. I really like them as well. What you said about them being includable in incursion has suddenly got my neurons firing a little bit. But
So
maybe I want to include
it
you.
it it is a thing at them. I've seen a few people taking them in it, and that's what like. And then you reminded me about Drought of Terror. Um, it's a really nice little interaction. That's why I like them
Yeah.
because they fit really nice. Like same my idea when I was my first few iterations of my Plague Legion list. Um, they were instantly in because I was like, I want to try it. And it was amazing. I actually don't like the fact that I've had to drop them, but I want to run more play bearers, and they had to go. They were the sacrifice. But but they are very, very, very good. Very, very, very good if you're using them in that type of role.
Yeah. Uh, Me
Please,
next, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, please pick bloodletters.
I am actually going to because
Yes, hate talking about bloodletters.
I I have spent enough time this edition particularly slagging these guys off. And so I want to do them a bit of justice now because as much as I hate, not hate, hate's a strong word. Corn probably would love it if I hated him, but um, yeah, my dislike for Corn, I think on this channel and when we speak privately is pretty damn evident about
we
how
we
one
are
dimensional it is.
we are both quite known for being not very big enthusiasts of corn, right?
Yeah. And when it comes to bloodletters, my issue with them, as Franco said, they started the edition at 160 points. And when their data sheet got previewed, I remember us talking about it and I thought they'd be like 120.
Yeah.
And I expected Demonettes to be about 90. God, how wrong we were
Mhm,
about GW's thinking compared to ours.
mhm.
Um, so Bloodletters are now 110 points. And I've had to, since the Shadow Legion release, I've really had a bit of a 180 turn on them.
Yeah,
And
agree.
I've started liking them a bit more. Don't get me wrong. By no way am I saying that I have completely changed my opinion and they're the best thing since sliced bread, because that's just not the case.
Nope.
Um, they are still squishy like Demonettes. Um, that's a fundamental flaw with our battle line that aren't plague bearers and horrors in general. Um, and but their damage output significantly goes up in Shadow Legion because they get there um, quicker. And the 8-inch movement that came along with that balance patch,
Big.
nice as well.
Yeah, really big.
Um, so yeah, 8-inch move and innate advance and charge in Shadow Legion is absolutely lovely. Their standard profile, I still have a bit of an issue with because I just don't like combat models having to advance.
They don't have enough attack. They never have. This is not a new problem. They have always had this problem. They never have enough attacks, and that's what swings them down.
Exactly. They're 110 points and go kill 5 Space Marines.
Maybe,
Fairly reliably kill 5 Space Marines, I would say.
maybe.
I like to
Sometimes
say fairly reliably because normally I do that with 3 Fiends, which have 5 less attacks than those Bloodletters do. However, Fiends also have Dev Wounds and let the opponent not roll a save. At some instances, so the more chance your opponent has to spike it, more chance of nonsense happening and play Bloodletters not doing their job. Um, but there's some very nice combos with those guys. Like Grandmaster is an obvious one. going up to strength 6, AP3, damage 3 really puts you into certain targets nicely and gets rid of the whole only having 2 attacks nerf. Scarbrand, I guess, is a nice buff for them as well. But if you're getting him within 6 inches and not attacking something with him, you're probably doing something wrong. That's always been my idea with Scarbrand. He needs to be a missile. He needs to go into something, kill it, and probably die the following turn. But it's fine because he kills something huge. So he's not the best supporter, but it's a nice ability to have for Bloodletters. I think they really excel with the Bloodmaster,
100%.
where you've got the built-in +1 to wound. And it's lovely because you can then have multiple units, particularly in Shadow Legion, using your Lance strat, and have multiple units with +1 to wound. 1 unit with a Bloodmaster, 1 unit without. Moving off Shadow Legion, I think Skull Taker's a decent add to them as well, to boost their damage output against bigger things, bigger targets, but massively helped by a Ren Monster helping them out on that as well. Yeah, I think my overall opinion's changed on them just because they've gone down in points, to be honest with you. And that's, we've been saying it for ages, all they needed was either a glow up in the datasheet or just get cheap enough, and eventually they have gotten cheap enough to the point where they get considered in certain detachments and certain armies. I still think fundamental problem is their datasheet rule. Why do we talk about it so many times, why do we have 2 datasheets that do exactly the same thing in terms of a datasheet ability, and that being Fiends and Bloodletters? It's like they couldn't think of what they wanted to nerf Fiends to, and they just went, have this.
I actually
don't think Bloodletters needed to lose the reroll wounds ability they had.
No, it needed to be better.
I don't think there was anything wrong with it.
No, there was something wrong with it. It was because it was bad. The reroll wounds of 1 is nice, but they got the full rerolls against half damage targets. That's not good. Yeah. No one else has that.
So now, if you're gonna have these models with only 2 attacks, give them full rerolls against things on objectives.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least make it easier under starting strength. You can work with that. I think the fallback and take desperate escapes for non-monster, non-vehicle units. I actually think that is a fluffy rule for a fluffy ability for Fiends. I think Fiends should have that, but it should not have come at the detriment of the -1.
Have it.
Yeah, the Fiends should have always kept the -1. Even if they did what they did with the Nurglings and made it in engagement range, and they got that in addition. The fact that they lost that and then, no. Bloodletters never. I get why they've. You run away, they try and chop your head off with their swords. Meh. Like, no, that's not. No. The reroll wounds would have been nice. It was simple. I've always believed they should have baked in advance and charge, but that's just me. But you can get it in Shadow Legion, but that is where you take them, right? Shadow Legion. You may take them in Incursion just to give them 6-inch deep strike, but there's maybe a little bit of a play about with Plague Legion because you can battle shock easy, so then you're forcing models to die on 1/2s freeze when they fall back from Bloodletters. But we didn't even speak about Blood Legion, but I think we better not speak about Blood Legion. It's just shit.
Some things are better left unsaid.
Exactly. So yeah, they're okay. I got some time to play with them in Shadow Legion. I was running 30 at 30 or 40 at my peak with it, and it's nice, but they eventually ended up leaving my list altogether just to show you that their fundamental problem is, and it has been for a long time, is they're a combat unit with the good combat. They are the combat Battleline unit, and they've only got 2 attacks each, and they hit on 3s. If they hit on 2s, do you know what? I'd be fine with that. Actually, that's what they should. They should hit on 2s. If they hit on 2s, I'll take 2 attacks. Fine. But yeah.
We're starting seeing stuff like this more and more with other factions. Just give it to us as well. Yeah, we'd be happy then.
Why should they not hit on 2s? They're some of Khorne's best killers. Give them hit on 2s. It's just
2 examples of things they've done it with recently: Howling Banshees and
Yep.
Flawless Blades.
Yep.
We're going to reduce their number of output, but we're going to make them more reliable.
That's
Do that with Blood Vets, please.
that is the problem brothers have always had is their profile itself is not bad. Hellblades are a decent combat weapon, but they're two attacks on a unit that has no real source of rerolls or reliability, right? When it comes to the
They're a
hit roll.
combat weapon. Hellblades are a combat weapon that is, because it's two attacks, just asking for something to make it more
Yes.
reliable into its
As
designated
far yeah,
targets.
as far as wound rolls go or wounds go, it's fine because there are multiple ways to get plus on the wound through, and you can get plus one hit off a bloodthirster, fine. But again, like you said with Scarbrand, do you want your bloodthirster buffing your bloodletters, or do you want him missiling something? If they happen to be next to each other, nice. Bloodletters should just hit on twos. That is what they should get, and then you do the same with the blood crusher. The guy on top hits on twos. It's not broken. It would not be broken at all. It would make them actually considerable as a good unit to take, in my opinion.
Hit on twos or three attacks. Give
Yeah,
me one or the other.
one or the other. I agree, but good OGW.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got two more units left. So I'm going to talk about Nurglings. You can talk about the horrors. We're going to combine the horrors when you talk about them. So Nurglings, the good old humble Nurgling. Everyone knows what Nurglings are. A lot of people that don't play demons have PTSD because you play them in demons, you play them in Chaos Space Marines, you play them in knights. They are they're just they're like they're Nurglings, right? That's what they are. Everyone knows what they do. Infiltrate and
They're just
scout.
cute.
Yeah, they're just amazing. They just want to give people hugs. They surprisingly, for such a shit combat profile, actually do work in combat. My favorite interaction with them was a unit of 6 in Shadow Legion sitting in combat with a Exocrine, losing like over the course of 3 fight phases, only losing two and a half Nurgling bases, or two and most of a Nurgling base, and knocking 8 wounds off the Exocrine, which is absolutely phenomenal. Um, so
Why
and
do they have lethal hits?
there's a Nurgle. There's a
Mate.
Nurgle. They've
Okay,
got little these tools.
Franco, there are things that have actual weapons in this game that don't get any abilities like lethal hits and sustained and
Oi,
are starved on.
oi. Did we
These
not?
things, these things charge in with their horns first and lick the enemy to death with their giant tongues
Nah.
hanging out
They're
and
they're
intestines
they're
and
ankle
shit.
nah, they're ankle biters. They're definitely ankle biters. Come on. No.
Dev
Don't-
wounds, not
Yeah,
lethal hits.
yeah, just give them death wounds. I'm agree with that. They just bite the bollocks. Instant death. Um, but yeah, no, and they are they're 40 points for 3. They're 70 points for 6. They recently just got 5 up in Vuns again for the first time since 8th edition, because I think they knocked them down to a 6.
Yeah, I think so.
Uh, they might have had in ninth. They might have had 6 shooting. Was it 5 shooting, 6 combat, or 6 shooting? I can't remember.
5 shooting, 6 combat.
Was it
It
5
was
shooting,
always
6
better on
combat?
shoot.
Cool. Yes, you're right, because it was most everyone else had 4 shooting, 5 combat. Yeah. So they did have that technical 5 up demon save against shooting in ninth. But they've been a 6 up in one all edition, which is fine. But now they're on a 5 up. Them in Shadow Legion are nuts. A unit of 6 of them for 70 points. 5 up in one. In combat, they make you -1 to hit, as long as you're not Titanic. And then they're always -1 to win against anything that strength that's higher than toughness, which is going to be pretty much everything that targets them. That is a horrible unit to deal with. They are one of the best jail units in the game. They're just jailing people in early on. They are a great source. I think every list should have some of them because they're great at. They give you infiltrate, which is good if you like draw early doors, like display a might or engage or something like that. And they also help you counter other people's infiltrators and stop people's scouts, which in some matchups is really strong. Just stopping opponent from like taking early ball control. In Plague Legion, they're a cheap source of giving you early 9-inch shadow bubbles off of Melancholic Miasma for your rule, which is nice because it means you can actually get some battle shocks early in the game without having to overextend more important units. And Incursion, again, they can help you screen and stop people taking parts of the wall where you're going to want a 6-inch deep strike, so they can help you mitigate your opponent from being able to screen you out, which is really good. So, and again, they fit in all the detachments because again, they're a cheap source of infiltrate that can counter infiltrate and scout. And also that -1 to hit. Do you know how many times I have heroically intervened a unit of Nurglings just to make a unit -1 to hit and had a Greater Demon survive, or have Plague Bearer survive, or have Fiend survive? Like it's really strong. Um, yeah, they're just really good. They're just really good, which is funny because both of Nurgle's battle line are just fantastic.
Yeah, 100%. The whole having a having multiple 6-man units of Nurglings in Shadow Legion, and then Plague Bearers as well, and then Horrors. It's just, I don't know what I would do against that. I think I just sit there and cry and laugh
Yeah,
and
you
look
can.
at how, just revel in the disgustingness of how I can't kill anything.
Yeah, you can create a real horrible target army in Shadow Legion by just taking like 3 to 4 units of 6 Nurglings, 30 Pink Horrors, 30 Plague Bearers, and then just fill the rest out with some stuff like the Thirster, Be'lakor, Chariots, um, whatever else,
You don't
Screamers.
even need damage.
You don't,
Genuinely, just
you can really take into it. You could take fucking 50 Horrors,
yeah.
50 Plague Bearers, and like
Well,
30
no, I was
whatever.
thinking more Be'lakor Thirster, um, probably a couple of units of Screamers, a
Yeah,
couple of units of Dogs, maybe a couple Beasts, and the rest is just a combo of Plague Bearers, Horrors, Nurglings.
yeah. You can. But you can go extreme with it, is what I'm saying as well. Like, yeah,
You
you
can,
can
100%.
yeah, you Shadow Legion, I feel like Shadow Legion loves that really tanky, can really create a really horrible tar pity type of list, which is
Yeah.
I've toyed with it a couple times. Yeah, it's very good. So we're gonna obviously one more or two more left to talk about, but they are almost the same unit. They're slightly different, but they're basically
Yeah, very,
a
very
variation.
close in terms of what they do. The only difference being one core ability and a couple of data sheet abilities difference.
Infiltrate is
But
probably the
fundamentally,
biggest change.
yeah, yeah. So obviously we mean horrors, pink horrors and blue horrors, and let's not forget the little balls of fire and joy,
Stones.
brimstones. Um, so pink horrors, we love them. Everyone who plays against them hates them. Split and a 4-up invulnerable save is a brilliant rule, but they're definitely points costed for it appropriately.
Yeah, they are.
Being our most expensive battle line, which is unfortunate. I feel like they are the only ones who actually pay for their rule.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's unfortunate that they came out at 140 points like they did, and were the only ones that were good at the time. So they're kind of still paying for that. No, they're brilliant. They really annoy people who play against them because you kill some that are often objective, and all of a sudden they resurrect onto it, or you haven't got enough attacks to wipe the whole unit, and then you killed 9 via the back, or, or or 10 blue horrors come back, or some nonsense like that. Um, yeah, they're an enigma of a unit is the best way I like to describe them. I really like playing with them, but people hate playing against them, and I've always had horrible experiences playing against them myself as well. So, partially a bit of PTSD because I don't think I've run in Demons ever a unit that can deal with them in one activation. Um, yeah, other than my brief stint of running 2 6-man flamer blobs, but that was short
Even
lived.
then,
So
I think chariots the chariot brick might be the only thing we have that can actually realistically deal with them in one go flat.
yeah, yeah, the dev wounds help with that
Yeah,
massively. Um, blue horror is a little bit different. So I always find blue horrors a bit more interesting, because their points cost is still expensive. There's no way they should be 125.
No, too expensive.
But they're basically, it's like their points costed, particularly for incursion at 125, where GW have almost said, we want you to pay points for an infiltrating unit that can help you get Shadow of Chaos in the middle of the board from turn 1.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be costed based on that. There are now 5 other detachments that they can be taken in. And they're very good in Plague Legion because of the extra -1 leadership aura. And shout out to Lawrence, who actually has been making good work of that as well in his Plague Legion list. I don't know if he still runs.
I was going to say, is he running blues in his Plague Legion list?
I don't know if he is anymore, but he
Oh,
certainly had been for a while.
Yeah.
And he was swearing by them getting their aura off alongside Crank Up Light and all of that stuff. I personally really like the exploding brimstone horrors. I think that's just like such perfect rule.
Kamikaze brimstones.
Kamikaze brimstones. They are just balls of fire. So if you can get a blue to just throw them at the enemy, my only wish is that they would work as like grenades ability and just give the unit grenades keyword.
Yeah, I wish. But I like the way they did do it because it's not all right. It dies, and then on 4+ it does more. If you don't roll the 4+, it just doesn't die, which is fine. So it means you get to keep the model still. So I like that they did it like that. But yeah, I agree. Should have just given them a grenade ability or something like that.
Yeah, or a grenades as a keyword on top of that ability, I think suddenly increases their flexibility, and that would probably that alone, in my opinion, makes them worth 125 points.
Agreed.
And at least be considered in other detachments aside from Plague Legion, because Plague Legion is the only one where they really lean into the battle shop stuff. And Infiltrate is, I think, more important in that as well because, well, not as much. I guess you have Nurglings already.
Yeah.
It's more about holding an objective and trying to stay there because of what you might have behind it.
Yeah.
With Plague Legion than it is with the other armies. Incursion, as much as I'd love to run them, I don't feel like they're needed.
No, they're not.
I guess they could be an interesting pick for Shadow Legion because they're probably just as annoying to kill as pings with the -1 hit. So there's definitely some play there. But yeah, otherwise they are just, slightly worse pink horrors, aside from the fact that they have infiltrated cackling horrors. So,
there is a slight argument for Scintillating Legion to give you an early source for your Infernal Puppeteer, because obviously Infernal Puppeteer being the enhancement where you put it on a lot of change always, and you can pick a Zinch unit with a 9 of him and then shoot from one unit in that unit. So by having one of those start in the mid board, trail back and forth so you can shoot through it, is not a bad thing to do. In my few games with Shadow Legion, I did that and it was really nice. But yeah, I just think that my problem, and you mentioned this earlier about when you first, I think it was the Bloodletters you said when you first saw the data sheet. And I feel like we had this happen to a lot of units where we saw the data sheet, was like, oh, I'm going to run loads of them. My first reaction seeing the Blue Horror data sheet was, holy shit, like, I'm going to run like 50 of these. And then they were 125. And I was like, no, thank you. So I've played them in Plague Legion and it's nice, but I just feel that they like with the Demonet, so they also provide combat with the OC and all that. I just feel they don't quite provide enough plus on top of the aura that it matters too much. For me personally, I'd rather take more play bearers or more something Nurgle. I would definitely take more play bearers for 15 points less, 100%. Like you said, you've got Nurglings that you can do the pushing out, because obviously if you're within 6 of them, you're -1 leadership, which you would assume you're going to be within 9 of a Nurgle unit. At least with the Nurglings, if you're within 9 of them, you're at -1 battle shock anyway because of shadows. But yeah, they're okay. There's probably a little bit of an argument as well, which, like you said, with Shadow Legion because of the -1 to hit. But you're probably going to take pink horrors over them if you had to choose. Like, you're probably never picking blues over pinks, personally. I don't think.
No, the extra OC on the pinks, I think, really makes them just better. I think what the unit wants to do as a role, which is be an annoying tar pitch, be a nuisance.
Yeah.
Pinks do that perfectly well. And I think blues, that's why they only, for me, work in certain detachments, like Plague Legion, when you want to tech into their
Yes.
abilities that aren't split. Because if you want to tech into split, pinks are just better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. You could. They do work in a jail style list, but it depends where you build the jail style list. If you're doing a Shadow Legion jail list, they work like blue horrors with Nurglings jailing the opponent in. There's very few armies that can clear that in a turn. If you've got 20 blues and 3 units of 6 Nurglings, that's a lot of jail power because they're -1 to hit with the splits and a 4-up invuln. The Nurglings are -1 to hit in combat, -1 to wound, standard against most things with the 5-up invuln. That's a lot of annoying profiles to deal with. And so that's
Yeah.
probably where they probably have their best use. They're good in Plague Legion. I'm not trying to say they're not good. I just personally found better uses in other things, but they definitely have play if you want to build into if you're taking skull cannons and you're really teching into forcing all the battle shocks, 100% take them. But if you're using the battle shocks as a resource in addition to other bits and pieces, less needed. But yeah, if you're taking them as a jail op, like if you're going for a jail list, so like we were talking, if you're going for the lockdown in the middle, stop your opponent doing anything list with the plague bearers, the pink horrors, and Nurglings, maybe some blue horrors to go in there just to have the early wave of, even if you wave them, Nurglings in first, then once they go, the blues in next, and then you've got the plague bearers and the horrors. It buys them time to move to the middle, and then they can go in next. And it's just an annoying of continuous wave of just deal with it, deal with it, deal with it, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's very much dependent with Shadow Legion though on deployment type. Like
Mhm.
you certain deployment types you just don't need 2 layers of infiltrating jail.
No.
Where the Nurglings are enough on their own, depending on what you want to jail in. If you want to jail the opponent's entire army, then sure. 20, 20 blues and 18 Nurglings are disgusting for that.
Yeah.
Um, but then if you're focusing on maybe the middle, Nurglings are probably enough, even if you're just looking at 1 layer of flanks on certain deployment zones. Nurglings are enough, and then you've got pinks behind that
Yeah.
afterwards. I would generally see the jails as being like your Nurglings are the first line. If you go first, they push right up to the enemy, just keep them in their deployment zone, and then your pinks first turn are advancing out because they haven't got anything to sticky. They probably haven't got any actions to do, so just advance them out and make them allow them to stage for their second turn, Joe.
Yeah.
Whilst your plague bearers sit further behind and do the objective work.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, it's an option. And it's nice having options. If you want to really tech into it, you can, but you don't have to. I find blues at their points cost right now, I find them as the outlier. I feel like out of the 6 options we have, they are the one that kind of sits in the eh. Like, yeah, you could take them. They've got some uses, but nowhere near as much as the other stuff does at all. Um, but if
Yeah, it's
I want to
like
see
we
them at
said, it's the
100 points.
combination of infiltrate and allowing you to get shadow. I think puts them at the points cost that they are, and that's the only reason.
Yeah,
Um,
but they shouldn't be. They should.
they
I don't know
don't.
how they've stayed at that points cost for 2 years. They should be about. I personally think 100 points. Make them Demonet price because they don't do anything. They do nothing.
Uh,
Like I guess pink auras don't do nothing either, but they split because of the double split. They can just become really, especially when they're gaining models back through shadows again. They can be really annoying to deal with, and they're OC2, but blues are OC1.
I'm just going to check how much they are in T Suns because they're cheaper in T
Oh,
Suns because they're OC0.
I would assume so. All the battle line. I don't know about plague bearers because plague bearers are the only battle line that didn't go to 1, right, in those books. So I don't know if they're the same price because they should still be 110 in Death Guard. I would assume because they're exactly the same. Um,
Plague Bearers are 110 in Death
yeah,
Guard.
they
Yeah.
they should be.
Blue Horrors are 90 points on T Suns
So what's the difference?
because they're OC0.
Oh, they're OC0.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so fuck. Why would you take them in
But
Thousand
this is the
Suns?
thing. No. So they don't have any other infiltrators.
Okay, all right, yeah, I guess, but 90 points, man. Yeah, I mean, I guess if
90
you
points for
take
an
one, take
infiltrating
one.
unit, 4-up invuln and split.
Yeah, right. You take one unit to just because they're a unit of 10, you can string them, right? So if you want to stop scouts, if you want to stop scouts and scouting, like they're a good option. All right, I guess for 90 points, but OC zero, it makes sense. I'm glad because then it means if they were OC one, I'd be like, what the fuck? All right, I guess at
I
that
do
point,
think their peaks are OC1 and T Suns, and
yeah,
they're a bit
yeah,
cheaper as well.
the only how much are they in Thousand Suns pink horrors?
115.
And so they lose a point of OC and they drop 25 points.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, pink horrors are not bad at their points cost. I would like them to be like 130, but 140 is okay. Um, okay, all right. You can't really have 100-point blue horrors when Thousand Suns are 90 at zero. Maybe 110, make them the same cost as Plague Bearers and Bloodletters. I think
And that would
that's
be sensible.
her.
I think that would be sensible.
Yeah, I think
I still like the idea of them being 100 personally. You're right. In my opinion, they shouldn't be 90 in T Suns.
no,
That's just
no,
they're OC0. They infiltrate fine, but they don't do anything. Like all they're going to do is block people in, and I don't think that really caters to how T Suns play.
no. I agree. They're nice to counter if you're going into a meta where there's a lot of scouting or a lot of infiltrating, they're an option they can take. But also, hold on, let's remember they have to take the change host to do that, and change host is garbage. So they're not going to do that. So they're probably never going to get used, right? So
Yeah, probably.
right. Cool. So I think let's have a look at a rough ranking system. If we had to rank them 1 through 6, and we know what's first. Plague Bearers are top,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
Second, I think Nurglings second, right?
yeah.
Demon is third, or Pink Horror's third. Yes, it's difficult, isn't it?
And then nice stuff. Um, I think
I lean more towards Demonet just because I think they have a few more uses, but it could go either way, really. I think.
yeah, for me as someone looking from the demon perspective, I prefer demonets.
Yeah.
But I think opponents hate things more. So
Yeah,
I think
because
you could do either one.
pink horrors are definitely the type of unit because there's a few units like this in the entire game that if someone has an experience against them where they just roll fours on across all their rolls,
Yeah.
um, yes,
It's
they
dreadful.
become a unit. It's the same as wardens. I mean, wardens more warranted because they are just a
Yeah,
horrible unit. But if someone plays against wardens and every time they play against custodians with wardens, they just roll the invite, all the Fauna Pains, you're going to naturally hate them.
yeah.
Pink horrors are the same. And I've been a guilty party of forcing or making people feel like that against them because I've had some pretty nasty. I think my best rolls was I lost 10 horrors exact, re-rolled an invite, passed it, and then 8 of my 9 split, and that was the best result I've ever had of them. And so yeah.
Fortunately.
Yeah, so when that happens, you can imagine, you can see why people, oh, fuck pink horrors. Um, so,
Damn right.
huh?
Damn right. Fuck
Yeah,
pink
yeah,
horrors.
fuck pink
Yeah,
horrors.
no,
I agree.
I haven't had those kind of experiences myself against them,
I
really.
haven't, but I've only played them. Mm, I've played against horrors maybe twice, maybe three
Yeah.
times, maybe, but I can't like they were never that impactful. But then if you know,
We play an army of invulnerable saves and a lot of 4-up in buns, and we know the chance of spiking that, so
yeah,
that's
we
why
we
it's
because we know the unit well and we know that how they get on in situations, we can play around them, I guess. Um,
yeah.
then fifth is probably Bloodletters and sixth Blue Horrors.
Yeah. I can't there's no way we can put bloodletters below
No, no,
blue
100%.
horrors.
They're better than Blue Horrors. They've
Yeah.
they've got more uses and more detachments.
Yeah.
I think Bloodletters in Shadow Legion are fantastic. I just wish they had plus
Yep.
one to hit or three attacks. That is the issue. But yeah, so we do have, like we said, fantastic battle line options. I think we are definitely an army that wants to utilize battle line. Like a lot of armies are taking them, like they take a unit because maybe sticky, or they interact with the army rule or something like that. You know, like is Guardians give like no, that's no, they used to give fate dice, they don't anymore. I think there's some do sisters give like fate dice or something if they're on objectives, shit like that. Um
Yeah.
Whereas our battle line feel like they have
Our
actual
battle line a bit like some of the Chaos armies, well, the CSM Legion armies.
they have a
They're
wall
a
in the army.
fundamental part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They're a
definitely.
fundamental part of it. They have a key role, and you want to take them, generally speaking. And
And
just like Plague Marines, rubrics,
yeah,
etc.
and you can build around them in most of the detachments. Like we said, Shadow Legion builds round three of them with builds around all of them, but you can legitimately run a shit ton of bloodletters if you want and just run at your opponent. You can take a bunch of Plague Bearers and Pink Horrors and just be tanky. Plague Legion loves Pink Horrors. Anyone that says you shouldn't take more than 20 is wrong, just flat wrong. Um Lawrence is one of those people. I will argue with him on that. He is wrong. Um I
What play
think
with
he's very
sorry, 20
he's on the opinion that 20 is more than enough in Plague Legion, right? That's his opinion, or was his opinion when we last spoke.
20 Plague Bearers.
Yeah, that was his opinion. 20 or 30, 20, I think it was. He said on the video we did, he said that. Um, his opinion could have changed. But you're
Yeah,
okay. But you're also talking to someone that has an affinity for Plague Bearers, hence why I used to run
yeah,
120 of them. So, like, honestly, I'm running 50 and it just feels natural because it's just it's my perfect unit, right? So, but yeah, and you can build around Demonettes. I think Demonettes are great in Legion of Excess. I do think there's a list there with Demonettes and Chariots. Um, and pink horrors are okay in scintillating. Being able to pick them out of combat is not bad with Delirium Unmade. If you rather than just being stuck there, but then sometimes that's kind of what they want to do. They want to sit on an objective. If they get pulled off an objective, find like pull them out. But if they're on an objective, splitting and keeping it high held or contested, then you leave them there, right? So yeah, I
yeah.
think overall we're quite lucky. We've got mostly decent battle line. I think they are mostly okay where their points are now. I think Demonets are fine. Bloodletters are okay. They just need a slight tweak on the date sheet still, but they're fine. Plague Bearers are absolutely they are generally one of the units, or probably the only unit now that every time an update comes around, I like hold my cross everything on my body to make sure they don't go up. Um, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else to add, or
No, that's it. I think for the rankings. Yeah,
sweet?
nothing else really.
Yeah. Basically, if you're going to take anything out of this podcast, um, take if you're not taking plague bearers, what the fuck are you doing? Put plague bearers in your list, and if you're running 10 plague bearers,
Immediately.
yep. And if you're only running 10, run 20. And if you're only running 20, run 30. And if you're playing Plague Legion,
You can never have enough.
run 50. Huh?
You can never have enough of them.
Well, you can technically 60. I wish they would let us have 20-man units again. I
Could you
really
imagine Shadow Legion if you could have 20-man Plague Bearers?
could you imagine Shadow Legion if you had 20-man pink horror units? They'd be busted. You could never have 20-man pink horror units.
You can
Um,
never.
no, you could never.
Uh,
20-man bloodletter
they're pretty
units.
much a 20-man unit as they are, anyway. Like,
They
come
are
on.
they are on average. Yeah, they are literally on average a 20-man unit on average splits. Because yeah, on average 10 pink, 10 blues, and then
No,
5 pinks.
25. 25.
Oh yeah, because yeah, maths. Yeah, 10 pink, 10 blues, 5 brimstones. I literally even said that, and it's
Yeah.
still quite at 20. All right, fine. 20-man bloodletters would be very good in Shadow Legion. I would take 100 of those fuckers
Yeah.
at that point. Just yeet them. Deal with that. Fly at
Yeah.
people.
20-man Demonettes, that's a crazy
No,
amount of attacks.
no, yeah,
That
but
is.
that I think they should be 20-man units. I genuinely
Yeah.
believe, like, I know we say this about all of our units, but like, I also get why not. No, I think the unit should be 10 to 20. I think massively should be. I hate the fact that we've said this in the past. They they build us or point us like an elite army, but stat us like a horde army, and it's really fucking annoying. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, What are you gonna
Well,
do? Is what
look,
it is.
if Corn Berserkers can do 10 to
Tell me
20s,
about.
why can't
Oh
Bloodlines?
man, that angered me when I found out they could go 20s. All right, right, okay, maybe they're gonna do it to Bloodletters. No, of course they haven't. Just come on, help them out. God damn it. Oh
The
god.
sound ain't coming the box. Shut up,
Yeah, shut up,
idiots.
bastards. Anyway, I think we'll call it there. I think we're good. I think we've covered a lot of ground and we got to talk about our battle line. So if there's any topics specifically you want us to cover, give us like let us know. We're always going to take on suggestions. I haven't decided what episode 3 is going to be about. I might let Byron decide since it's normally me deciding on topics, so you can decide episode 3 topic.
It's your channel, bro. That's why you decide the topics.
No. It's my channel, but this is not this. I'm treating this as separate. It's going to be on the channel, but it's also going to be on Spotify. So this,
Okay.
this, I already told you, this is mine and yours. This isn't Franco's podcast with guest Byron. This is Franco and Byron's podcast. I told you this. So come on. I would snap my fingers, but I can't snap fingers. So
Whatever the next army that comes out, that will be the topic. So when dogs release, we can go through how demons fare into
that
dogs.
okay, that works because they come out. Did they not come out?
Well, they're on pre-order this weekend.
Yeah. Obviously, if you're listening to the podcast, we're actually a week ahead of ourselves. So we're filming this
Yeah.
the week before these come out. Or this episode at least. We actually got productive and filmed 2 episodes in one day. But yeah, I guess okay, dogs would be a good one to do. Actually, and it's a good platform actually, this. Okay, cool. We'll do that. Right, we're having idea creative meetings on the middle of the podcast. That's not what this is for, God damn it. Oh god.
Yeah, neurons start firing though. We can't help ourselves.
Yeah, we can't. We just want more excuse to talk. That's all it is. But before this
Yeah.
hits an hour, we are gonna cut it short. So, thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you all in the next one.